Well, welcome to another ride in the Scenic Rim, this time from Beaudesert around through Rathdowney and back to Beaudesert. I decided to take a bit of a shortcut that I found on Google Maps out to the Beaudesert and Kerry road to get this ride going with Howard. It looked terrific, all dirt, just what I was looking for to get things going for the day. After a promising start, it looked that the road was disappearing further ahead, and sure enough the signs eventually came along. I asked the farmer and he said no, the road disappeared in about another half a kilometre. It had been closed for 10 years, but there was an interesting find of this old dairy which closed about 50 years ago. However, turn around and go back the way I came. It's all fun. There's a lot to see in the area if you've got the time. Lots of national parks, lots of rainforests. You can see a bit of both worlds, literally. The Kerry road, which heads down towards Lost World, is in pretty good condition. Most of it's been done up just lately since all of the rains. There are still some narrow passes that are one vehicle wide, dirt on either side, but still it's not too bad. Not a lot of traffic out here Monday to Friday. A few caravans on weekends and that's about all. This old church was moved from Beaudesert in 1905 out to Kerry. The cemetery was opened years before that, as most of the graves are dated way back in the 1880s. If you're feeling like a coffee at this point, you can head on to the campgrounds at Darlington on the edge of this road that we're on. The old reception area there in the house serves great coffee and you can get some pretty valuable snacks. It's just after we go through the old homestead at Darlington, or Darlington Park, we run into the turnoff to Duck Creek. And this is it. A very, very interesting part of the world. The road was opened in 1988 and joined Kerry with O'Reilly's on the top of the mountain in the Lamington National Park. It's been closed now since 2021 following a massive storm in the area and some landslides up on the mountain. It's still worth the ride to the very last gate, so go through this one and then back again to the Kerry road. Some beautiful scenery and you get to ride on a bit of dirt. This is about where the road finishes. Straight run back to the Kerry road. There are some odd graves in the farms around here, dating back to the early settlers. This one dates back to starting off in 1882 when the farmers' children were buried there. He was buried there in 1915. Once you're through the gate and into Lost World, the views are absolutely stunning. Great dirt, very good nick, except of course when it's wet. When you leave Lost World, don't forget to close the gate because this is all free-range cattle country. About a kilometre down the road on your left will be a dirt road and it will take you to the top of the ridge. This is another dead-end road, quite a long one, which takes you across the top and then down into the valley on the other side. It is a stunning ride with beautiful scenery. Lots of reminders of the past if you've got the time to have a quick look for them. When you get back down to the blacktop, make a left turn and you're not very far from the road which passes over Hillview. Steep climb, steep descent on the other side until you get back on the plains. It's one vehicle wide only, so just watch the bends. Trucks, trailers and caravans aren't supposed to go up here. The sign will say that at each end, but it pays to be careful. Some great views as you go across the top. This is the farming community of Hillview. Population these days about 80 people, and they're all on farms. I can't find any history at all about the community centre or the community hall, which still seems to be fairly active. Looks to me like it's about built in the 50s or 60s. The old school is still open here. It was originally the Christmas Creek School, changed its name to the Hillview School in 1914. Area school's still open. This is a great run through farm country, the back way into Rathdowney. This old church, again, a bit vague as to when it was built. There was 3 acres donated by a local farmer in 1901, and the church opened in 1904, and the cemetery has Martin Sullivan as the first burial in 1904. Well, this was the hub of the Christmas Creek community way back in the day. There's nothing left here now except a beautiful farmland, but there are a couple of finds, a couple of reminders of what was once here. The road bridge ahead of us, it's a single lane bridge here in the backcountry. However, that was actually a railway bridge. This was the railway line that came through here to Christmas Creek, and right here was where the railway station was for Christmas Creek. Not only a railway station, but also a school. This was the site of the Beaudesert tramway from 1903 to 1944 or 46. This was the station, the site of the station, the terminus of the Eastern Branch until Lamington was opened in 1910. And here, on the rock next to it, is the plaque, the old plaque for the site of the Christmas Creek Provisional School, which was opened in 1878 and closed in 1881. So the railway station was here. That was the railway bridge over the creek. This is the railway line and where it went. It certainly is beautiful country still, but there are now, other than the farms, no reminders of the settlement of the time. Elizabeth Wilson was buried here in 1927 between a railway line and a farm paddock. She was only 8 days old. Her father walked on the railway line, and they lived in those days, as was the way, in tents next to the construction sites. How sad was this? But the farmers are still looking after it. Next stop, 4 kilometres down the road, is Rathdowney. There's no fuel available there anymore. They're all closed. However, the general store is still open, serves great coffee and snacks. So you'll be ready for one by the time you get here. Next stop's Tamrookum, about halfway to Beaudesert. Still get fuel there, and worth looking at the old church and the community hall. They're the last 2 buildings to be still standing, but they're in pretty good nick. Well, thanks for coming along. We're back in Beaudesert now. I hope you enjoyed the ride and that you get a chance to do it yourselves really soon.